Hi, and welcome to Mystic Muses Play D&D.
A storytelling podcast where an all-queer table of all Femme players
and our amazing non-binary DM
tell stories set in the Homebrew world of Perdition.
So now,
our story continues.
So with your food digested here in the Broken Wing Mead Hall, and the promise that Donald may be able to lead your path east towards where Torrance has flown his way off, adventurers, what do you wish to do?
When the others sort of head off to go and do what they need to do, Verna will sort of take the time to get their journal, check it to make sure that there's no water damage. Because,
oh, yeah, it's worth doing.
And will sort of write down the prior day's events.
Right.
What happened, meeting Anoki, what happened with Managras, what happened in the tower, and also what happened when Moritas ventured into Verna's mind.
Sure. So you're journaling and scribing down the last day and a half's worth of events.
Yeah, it's something that they do should the event occur that they lose their memory again.
You're fortunate to see that your journal, there's maybe just a little bit of bloating and bubbling around the edges of the pages, but that's just a tiniest little minor bit of water damage. The rest of the book itself is intact, and all the writing inside is intact as well. So you set yourself down there, you have your ink pen and your little inkwell, and you just very quietly write, and every now and then you just hear the loud noise of "Ha 14 damage to your engine" from the kids behind you playing Ancients of Artifice, the trading card game.
I thought it was Wizards of the Happening.
They might switch to Wizards of the Wizards of the Happening.
And they'll sort of once they've written down and collected their thoughts, they'll sort of go back over.
Yep. So we'll go back over the writing that you have, or go back to
go back and just sort of try and make sense of everything that's happened within the past 48 hours.
Yeah. Once it's all written down, you leaf back over the pages and reread some of the stuff you've written. It's all fairly intense stuff until eventually a kindly voice over you says, would you like anything else? Can I take these plates?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I do that as well. It's good to try and write out your thoughts sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Well, then that's a even better reason to write everything down. As the figure sort of like stacks the plates together and gets the empty coffee cup.
Just look up.
You see a human woman, like late 20s, slightly darker skin and wild, huge hair. Apron sort of spattered with and stained with various cooking stains and sort of natural musky air of apples to her, like cider almost. Kind eyes and sort of just regards you like calmly and patiently, just sort of like. So she keeps them all together and sort of bundles them up in her arms. Sure you don't want anything?
No, I think I'm done, and I'll sort of get a gold coin out and see that her hands are full, and then just put it on the table.
Oh, don't worry, Verna, you don't need to do that. Your faith's enough. And she walks away. You look down at your pendant and you see the visage of where the Grey Lady was has suddenly gone blank. You look back up. She's nowhere to be seen, but she's back on the pendant. So you two.
I was just sort of staring at Adam in shock out of the corner of my eye.
Asta dabs.
yes, like, whole ass scene. like the Grey Lady? Was that the Lady of the Grey?
The greyest of ladies.
Just up and appearing in front of you and being like, hey kiddo, how's it going?
You're doing great, champ.
Yeah, so the two of you have wandered off to the post office or some sort of messenger service, or...
Yeah. Lord Elderwood will actually say,
Sven, I think I need to go take a walk. If you want to go ahead, you're welcome to.
Sure. Shall we meet at the
tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys get to the crossroads and then walk left and walk right. So we'll catch up with Sven first, I think. Where do you wish to go?
He's gonna go to the post office. send his letter.
Yep. You ask a couple of the friendlier folk, and they lead you to. There's no name on the outside of this building. It's just the curled bugle symbol for the post office and the messengers hall.
Question: is Vand also carrying Werner's letter for Verosia?
Yes. Did you want to write a letter back to Verosia as well?
Retroactively, maybe as we were eating, Werner would have written a letter to addressed to Oriana, letting her know that we're alive, where we are, where we're planning on heading, and what Torrance did in the marshes.
Cool. So yeah, it's a very sort of. You're used to recalling certain incidences in the marshes in like a very factual, almost militaristic style report. So for this, a little bit of the warmth and kindness you would show Oriana's in the letter, but a lot of it's still very functional and factual.
Yeah.
Although, as of where Werner is right now, they really wish they could take that letter back and be like, what has the Grey Lady been described as in real life? But anyway.
A thing happened.
So Sven is sending both letters, one to Verosia, one to home.
Yep. So you talk to the young dragonborn there behind the counter, and he's like, "Yes, and do you want that sent by standard or by Dusk Runner? By Dusk Runner, it's a little bit more pricey, but we can guarantee that this Verosia letter will arrive same day, and this letter to the Goliath homestead will arrive next day. The rest of them will take a couple days."
The one to Verosia, we're gonna send it with Fast Runner, and the other one, it can be a little bit slow. It's fine.
Okay, so next day, same day delivery to Verosia is going to be 2 silver. You know what? The boss isn't around. You don't have to pay for your letter to. There's not a lot of stuff going to the Goliath stands, so we'll just call it 2 silver, friend.
Thank you.
That's all right.
You're very kind.
I don't like this job. I just wanted to pass the time. Thank you, friend. Next, please.
God, what a mood.
And yep, so you are down 2 silver, but your letters are away. Where is everyone's favourite Elderwood, Lord Elderwood, going? You walk for maybe 10 or so more minutes until eventually one of the spokes in the wheel of this wheel and spoke style circular city, eventually one of the blocks gives way to a green space, like a park. There's some taller trees and a bench nearby a rather beautiful swirling fountain of 2 dragons sort of dancing and swirling around each other. The jets of water sort of extend out of the tips of their wings and in the breath out of one of the other ones. You sit and you watch and just let your mind quiet and let your breathing and your heartbeat sort of follow in time with the water as the droplets hit the base of the fountain. You close your eyes. Your eyes reopen, and it's a darkened chamber in Elderwood Manor.
Can he sense her near?
She's in range, but you do not see her yet.
My ever illustrious lady, I heard you wanted to talk.
Darling, it's been so long. I've missed you so.
As have I, my love.
What news from the west?
Some high mage, Torrance, is causing a ruckus and using the powers of the Great Marsh for some alternative purpose. I know you wanted me to investigate. I wasn't entirely sure whether you would like me to keep following this trail or to come back home.
It's been made abundantly clear to me by my dear friend Mrs. Drithwell that the efforts of this stranger were what was making the energies in the marsh spike as it was. Seems that the little party I watched you interrupt was exactly what I needed to see. Find this mage, find out what he's doing with all of that energy, and, oh my darling, you know I'll be good to you in return.
I'll get to work then. Verna mentioned something.
Aren't they delightful?
Yes.
You know, you really must be careful as to who you let transgress the mind, darling. You can't just let any rabble in. I accept their presence, but don't bring home any strays now, will you?
Of course. I wasn't expecting them to see into my mind. I will learn my lesson.
It's forgiven, darling. I can never be truly angry at you.
That fills my heart with joy.
Have you any messages for the head butler?
No.
He's ever so eager for you to meet to the new charge. We've hired a very curious gentleman from a strange township named Mr. Clade. Has some very eager insights into horticulture that has the head butler just buzzing with excitement. You know how he gets.
He struggles to respond for a bit. Yes, I do. I look forward to meeting this new charge.
And I look forward to meeting these new friends of yours.
You want to meet them?
I insist upon it. They couldn't have come at a better time. They're exactly the help you needed to do the great work you've been doing out west. I would want to repay that kindness in person. Don't you think it's fair?
Of course. I should head back to them. It was lovely speaking with you.
Be well, my darling. I love you.
I love you too. And he's gonna pull away.
Your eyes close. Your eyes reopen. You're back in the park. Mellev.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help but
I like how you were sitting in the corner just.
but then you said nothing fills me with more joy. Just completely.
He's just a very stoic guy.
He's just
I
he's
didn't
just a
think
stoic
that's
little
how
lad.
marriages work.
Just the second Werner's name was mentioned, I just like, no, I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
It's okay.
Why?
Now she wants to meet
Now she
you.
wants to meet me.
Any hoozle. So that delightful conversation just happened. What do you wish to do?
He's going to take a moment and then compose himself and head back to the tavern.
After posting the letters and successful for it, Sven wanders his way down the streets, down the sloping pathways towards the tavern itself, and sure enough, you pass by that pack of kids that you saw rushing away really excitedly as they're outside the Twirling Quills bookstore because a big poster in the window says Volume 17 of Tracy Breaker is now being released. You wander your way and eventually you see Lord Elderwood coming the other side of the street, and eventually you meet at the swingy saloon doors. Peering inside, the journal is closed out in front of Werner, and Werner's still staring into space because of what just happened, I think. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Also worth noting that at this point, at the end of the table, where the table touches the wall, Donald's sort of like sat down and curled around sleeping because he's had a long flight.
Cutie.
I know he's a guy in bird form, but
Yeah.
he can hang out on my shoulder if he
Little
wants while
guy.
we head onwards.
Well, he's still having a little snooze as you look up to see Lord Elderwood and Sven wander up to your table.
I'll put the journal away.
I send your letter the fast, whatever it was called.
Oh, how much?
Ah, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So before we set off,
The word set off makes Donald just like, and then just like ruffles his feathers and stands up and like waddles down the table.
maybe we can discuss it on the way, but it's about something else that happened last night that I think is important. But we can talk about it on the way.
Is it about Marvin?
It's about me.
Oh.
Yes, we should get going. I don't know if I told you my wife was okay.
That's good. Is she
He just raises an eyebrow.
is she mad?
No,
'Cause I am really sorry about that.
you're fine. It wasn't a real house. You do realize that?
I feel like a boundary was crossed, though.
Yes. And as I said, try not to do that again.
I will do my very, very best, but I don't know how I did it the first time. Can I see how Moritas is sort of doing?
Roll insight.
13.
He seems like he's had a long chat with his wife, and it was a back and forth exchange that some things had to get aired out, and a little part of him's quite sort of relieved almost, but also it's very hard to read his emotions. He's a very sort of down the middle stoic sort of dude.
Are you okay after talking?
Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know what kind of conversation it was.
The normal conversation that you have with a husband and a wife.
That seems perfectly believable with that inside roll.
You just your face.
I don't know. I'm just still a little concerned about what happened. and I don't want that to reflect badly on you.
No, and I apologize if I came so strongly with my warning. It has nothing to do with my wife.
Okay. She seems lovely.
She is the love of my life.
Can I see?
He's
It's
going.
like, that seems unnecessary to say.
He's
Can I?
going to just wake up, Donald. Donald, wake up. Let's go.
Yeah, his feathers ruffle and he just like waddles up the table to you guys. Like hops up into Werner's hand.
Oh, like a little egg.
Put him on my shoulder.
On the
'cause he's
shoulder.
tired.
Good
He's
egg.
tired. Yep.
He has been awake for a while, probably.
He's been
right?
flying a
Been
lot.
flying,
So
too.
Just a little guy.
he's just a little guy.
Hi.
That's going to be 2 shots for you playing the drinking game.
That's just a little guy drinking game.
Yeah.
Donald,
The tower sort of floated out east. The way out drifted east and then north a little onwards towards North Harbour. I think he's going out towards the deep fog that lies over that ocean, but it's a strange one. Lord Elderwood, roll Arcana.
Whoa.
Is that a good number?
Yeah, it's a very good number.
Nice.
18.
So you know that there is a very thin edge of magical fog that extends from the lethargic sea that extends over the northeast coast of the Veiled Rock. It's a thick magical fog that's persisted there for thousands of years that even for, well, except for elves rather, anyone who sails through it finds themselves naturally prone to tripping out or falling asleep, which makes it a very perilous place to sail through, but various societies of lizard folk and kobolds have found civilizations on the Misty Islands that exist in that stretch of land just off the coast of the Veiled Rock towards the cities that known as North Harbour and Ironwinter, as here on the map. They
Off
would
the coast of...
the northeast coast of Veiled Rock.
fuck. What? No, I was just thinking about the fact that I left my coachman at the entryway to the marsh with a carriage.
Smash cut back to him just sort of being there, like reading something, but then you look at it and you realize the book's upside down.
Oh, is this the one with the crush on your wife?
Carl the Minotaur.
Minotaur.
That's speculation.
The
all right?
Minotaur, who 100% canonically has a crush on you.
That's speculation, y'all. That's... Don't be trying to...
I feel like
Everyone has a crush on my wife.
Listeners, I want fan fiction.
Absolutely. Tall, big Minotaur dressed in a very tiny suit. And a very, very hot lady. Just use your imaginations.
So Sven is gonna raise a hand and be like,
yes, Sven.
I've never ridden a horse.
Okay.
I can do a goat.
Okay, maybe we can see if we can get some kind of wagon.
Yes, we can get a cart, and then you can ride in the front.
I do have a +3 to animal handling, so
There we go.
It's all of the affinity for animals you got from talking with Stig.
yeah,
Oh, Stig.
yeah. We'll try and see if we can find a cart that we can either buy or hire. I feel like hire might be.
Would I know how much a horse and cart would go for, DM?
Going rate for hiring a carriage's passage is anywhere between 3 to 5 copper per mile.
My eyes started twitching.
Yeah, that is math.
What if we wanted to buy the carriage and
Outright.
the
Buy
horse?
the carriage outright.
And buy a little horsey, and we'll name him... I was going to say Steve.
No, that's one of the trees that you
Jeremy.
named.
Bearamy.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
To buy a simple wagon that's open top with no top to sort of make a covering over it would be anywhere between 30 to 35 gold. To get a single draft horse that'd be strong enough to pull it would be a whopping 50 gold from certain breeders. So I'm imagining at this point you've left the tavern, and as you're discussing possible options, you're there at the journeying stables out in the far east of the city towards the Northern Vale Road that's going to take you out where you need to go. negotiating with a very crusty-looking older halfling dude. If you want to buy a donkey to pull it all, wouldn't be a part with this old guy for maybe 7 gold. But I don't know if he'd be strong enough to pull the 3 of you and a carriage.
We can have 2 donkeys.
Maybe we should just hire.
I'm glad you come to that arrangement.
we're just concerned because we're potentially heading into something dangerous, and we don't want to not be able to return your horse and carriage.
But should we hire your carriage and your horse,
Yeah.
and they befall some kind of incident on the Elderwood name, we will replace the cart and the horse.
So this very old, elderly halfling man pulls out a pipe that's like maybe a meter long.
God damn.
Like puts it to his mouth and then lights it all the way to the edge of his extended arm. Sorry. Roll persuasion.
Oh.
See how good the Elderwood name is.
You know my wife.
You know my wife.
You know the hot one?
She tall, very hard.
Tall, very hot, very cool, very hot.
Also, you're the
Very good,
both.
very nice.
Also, Werner and Sven are astounded that this dude's not phased by Moritas speaking into his mind.
I forgot to warn him.
16.
Elderwood? Anyone named after Wood's probably good enough by me. Sure. Jenny! Jim! Jenny! What? What? And then you see this, like, halfling girl, like, stumble past, and then her hair's all sort of tied up, and she's got, like, various stains from carrying off the animals. Like, what? Take these lots to North Harbour, would you? A hire? Really? But I was going to go. No, you weren't. No, you're not seeing that boy again. No, you got to do a job. You're going to make this business some money. Go. So you're hiring a carriage, are you?
Yeah.
I'm nosy.
I want to know all the gossip.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to North Harbour, we're going to make it quick. We should be able to get you there by sundown, all right? How's that sound?
Sounds good.
You're not going to tire out the horses, are you, like that? Dad, if you're going to make me do this, I'm going to do it my way, all right? Go read your books.
A lot quicker than I was expecting.
There should still be a day's drop off. But if I put charming and runner, they'll be able to carry you around. And sure enough, she goes through to the stables, and you see some placards where it says charming, which is like this chestnut brown horse, and runner, where it's like a horse but with like Dalmatian colours.
Aww.
Deep black with like various white spots and crests to him. She leads them along and takes you to a very simple wagon with very like mottled, moth-eaten brown tarp sort of set over the top of it. Hitches them up pretty quickly. And it's like, all right, it'd probably be a bit after sundown. It'd probably be like 10th or 11th hour in the night. How's that sound?
It's absolutely fine.
All right, well,
We're grateful that you can get us there that quick.
she shouldn't be. Shut up, Dad. So the 3 of you settle down inside the carriage, and it slowly goes off into a light canter, and then the whole thing starts jostling as this thing goes at high speed out of the city.
Lord Held
out
was
of
just
the-
holding on to the side. Like, what the fuck?
It's just like bumps and jostles around as you hear the weapons on Sven's back just sort of cling together, and you look inside the jar and you see the water sloshing with Marvin salmon inside.
Poor thing. Is Marvin like getting dizzy?
Oh, bless.
I mean, I suppose we've not got much to do until
Yeah.
we get there. So while you were unconscious, Moritas and I had a conversation initially about Marvin because there was a little bit of a
Concern.
difference of opinion about whether or not you should be informed, but we ended up on the same page. Seeing as we are making each other aware of things that are not normal, I basically have no memory of anything that happened before 4 years ago. Awoke in a temple in the mountains, surrounded by the bodies of dead cultists, and made my way to Varosia and became a cleric of the Grey Lady. During me revealing that to Moritas, he very kindly offered to use his inherent ability to be in someone's mind to try and help figure out more. And he managed to see what happened just before I woke up. There was some sort of ritual, some sort of weird shadowy hand was summoned that then proceeded to rip the life essence soul out of the cultists, and as best as I can ascertain, put it into my not breathing body.
Oh.
And then I woke up. I don't know what that is, or what it means, or what the purpose of it was. So understandably, I am concerned about something happening, whether that means that something is going to act through me, or is being incubated or contained, or I don't know. So I think it's important that you are aware, just in case something happens.
And if something were to happen, what would you like us to do?
That is a good question.
If it's something that's gonna hurt people, regardless of what form it takes, whether it's going to operate through me, you make sure it doesn't hurt people in whatever means you feel necessary. By any means.
Right.
I'm sure there's a way of...
Yes.
Because I don't know what this thing is, what it wants, but I am assuming it's not good because, I mean, doesn't seem like a
It didn't
friendly entity,
seem friendly to others, but I think to you it was very
which is
gentle.
and you can see Verna sort of make a face because they were definitely leaving that part out intentionally because they didn't want to think about that.
I'm just here opening all the wounds.
I'm just stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot.
Sven is going to remember that one of his family members works in like the brain or the mind or things like this. So he's going to be like, I'm pretty sure there's techniques out there to like regain your memory. Like my uncle works in that. I could ask my family in the next letter.
That would be very generous and very kind of you. We'll focus on this for now, and then if we make it out alive, then my original intention for leaving Verosia was to learn more, and was also prompted by a nightmare.
Oh.
Not the same as yours. I didn't see a giant fish. Since waking up, every year, a few weeks after and they'll sort of air quotes, the anniversary of when I woke up, I have dreams that I could never fully remember, sort of fuzzy flashes of people, figures, streets. And the day that we all met, I had another one of those dreams. However, much earlier than it usually is.
There be something that possibly triggered that?
I don't know what, but that's what I was looking into. And I could remember every detail this time. And I knew I needed to go and look into it and figure out what happened. But
If you don't mind me asking, what was the dream about then?
so I am walking through Verosia, and everyone I know from the temple is dead. The temple is in ruin, and I think I'm also standing there, but it's not me. And then I turn to ash, I crumble away, but then I'm seeing that happen from the other me, and then I turn into something horrible.
The conversation of sinister dreams, unlikely paths, and your journey ahead fills up your journey as you break into your rations and lightly eat and try and pass the time as best you can as you are aware that the surroundings outside slowly turns dimmer and dark as the night slowly creeps its way in. The path winds its way north and starts to veer downwards in a natural incline as you eventually hear the loud coachman, Ginny, sort of call out to you. It's like, all right, lads, we're starting to get up to it. It's, what the fuck is that? You hear the carriage stop as she rears up the horses. Why do you want to come here? Get out of the carriage. I need to go home now. You pile your way out, and out in the distance, you see the city of North Harbour, scattered squat brown buildings in a neat little circle with many jetties and piers leading out into the ocean. The night has fully sunk in at this point, and the pale, waxing form of the green moon is there, up in the distance, but breaking into it is the vision of a deep black tower and a beam of pink light streaking down from it into the ocean, and an immense wave of cresting water hurtling towards the city. What happens next time? We'll find out next time on the Mystic Muses.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Is that a tsunami?
Hi guys, and thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you like what you heard here today, be sure to give us a follow on Spotify and hit that notification bell if you'd like updates for when we release episodes every week. This episode wouldn't have been possible without our amazing cast. Betrayer, she, her, playing Sven, he, him. Asta, she, her, playing Moritas Elderwood, he, him. Ellie, they, them, playing Verna, they, them. And not to mention our wonderful DM and storyteller, Adam Ray, they, them. If you like what you hear, be sure to check us out also on Twitter and Instagram for updates. See you soon.